Counterparty is an emerging peer-to-peer technology. Consult your local crypto equity strategist prior to making any digital investments. Remember, Counterwallet is beta software. Please report any and all bugs. All right, good morning, afternoon, and night, everyone. My name's Sean Andrews, handle STAndrews00. I'm your host of Countertalk. We've got a great show for you today. I'm joined by my co-host, Robby Dermody, co-founder, creator of the Counterparty Protocol. I'm going to be discussing some of the network numbers. Robby's going to give us a protocol update and a business development update. Let's go to the numbers now. So current network market capitalization is at $7,815,274. That's the 11th largest market capitalization in the world. The last decentralized exchange BTC Pay price is 4.49 millibits. It's approximately $2.95 per XCP token. Current XCP supply is 2,649,246. Total XCP transactions is at 15,845. Weekly transaction volume is approximately $3,253.85. 7-day change, we've seen a 8.76% rise. So now for the protocol update. Robby, can you hear me?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh,
Actually,
great.
I'll
Okay.
probably start with the update, and we can go on to the launch update after that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, cool. So, on the business biz dev marketing side, we've had this is kind of more of an update for like on the last 3 weeks. We've had Mickey Wiles has joined the team. He's got a background in entrepreneurship. He's going to be working on the SWARM marketing side. He's already got a good SWARM marketing presence set up on the forums, and he's working through a few exciting developments that we're going to keep on the DL here for a little bit and surprise people with. We've had Chris Montano is also joining the team. Chris brings a lot of experience around conventional finance fields and tech and financial research, as well as experience with startups, working for startups, advising startups. He's going to be working on the business development front with Evan and I, and we're really excited about having him on. He should be hitting the ground running here coming up this week. Mickey gave several presentations. We had our first Counterparty meetup in London, so that went pretty well. I think we had around 8 or 9 or 10 people. And then Mickey also presented a few days ago at CoinSprung in London on a panel with Dominic from Mastercard, I believe. That went really well. Also, he was able to demo Counterwallet and a number of other things. We have some upcoming conferences. We have Inside Bitcoins, Hong Kong, and Melbourne. We'll have Evan and myself in Hong Kong, and Evan and Jeremy Lamb Jeremy's from Bend, which is doing a lot of really cool things around digital vending machine concept with Counterparty. They wrote software that works on top of Counterparty. I'm going to be presenting at Coin Summit in London in early July. And on the deck, on the marketing side, we have some website work that's going to be coming into effect here in the next week or so. We're going to be adding a team members page, and we're going to have a number of advisors on that page, and as well as the 14 members themselves. And we're going to also be adding a business directory page where anyone who's doing anything with Counterparty can actually submit their own business listing. And it should hopefully serve as a pretty definitive guide to the Counterparty businesses that are out there. We're also in the process of working through the messaging around the marketing concept and are making some pretty good progress there. So that's the business update.
Awesome.
And on the technical side, we had a few exciting features go in. So contracts are different. Support was added to Counterwallet. That's not live on the main site right now. We're undergoing some additional testing along with the binary options features that were added, I think, about a week and a half ago. We have several UI tweaks that are also added and will be applicable here shortly, such as an optimized menu bar and some other miscellaneous things that should help improve experience a little bit. There's some API, some changes to the API. The API documentation is streamlined. And probably a big change is that there's the way we're doing the API, we're going to have several really good speed improvements out of it. So if you're doing anything that working with Counterparty B or the CPU usage should go down quite a bit, and counterwallet servers will be able to handle a lot more users. We've also updated the version of Insight, which is a software we use to get arbitrary Bitcoin balances. All right, so in progress on this front, we're in the process of adding enhancing the counterwallet statistics page. So that's going to also show the number of new wallets per day and the number of unique total logins per day. And on the technical side, we have the Counterwallet Chrome application. So we're going to be enhancing Counterwallet so that it works as a Chrome application. So you go into the Chrome store and essentially download it. This will help increase the security of Counterwallet, and as well as make it potentially more user-friendly as well. It will work just like a desktop application. And then I'll be working through some upcoming Tech Talk videos where I go over some of the technology, do some code walkthroughs, and examine the different components. I do have a very rough version of video that I did from a talk when I was in Silicon Valley about a month ago, and this will just be refinement on that and expanding upon it, a little bit more organized. So that right there is a technical update.
Awesome. To our guest, Joel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the project you've been working
on. My project is called SWARM. It's a usability layer so that you can easily create a sort of Kickstarter-like campaign on top of Counterparty. And, that's has the benefit of really allowing easy access to Counterparty assets and providing kind of dashboarding mechanisms and things like that, so you can see if you're doing a kind of crowdfunding campaign, how far along you are, and these sort of metrics that are useful.
So I think that's like really interesting, but can you explain like some of the details of this? So is there a way for the crowd to provide I would assume Bitcoins, and is there an exchange that happens with Swarm?
So, fundamentally it exists the same way other counterparty assets exist. They're all on the decentralized exchange. They can be traded. But what we're offering is a sort of intermediary service that when you send Bitcoins or potentially another kind of altcoin to a particular address, then the corresponding assets are automatically generated. They go to your wallet, and then you basically have. So is it kind of like, for instance, you could say if you wanted to say like I'm creating a mining operation and I want to sell 1,000 coins for 1 Bitcoin each to kind of bootstrap this, then you could use our service. And then basically you would send the Bitcoins to the address, and then these kind of coins would be automatically issued and kind of sent back to the people who sent you the Bitcoins. And there's a lot of that's kind of a use case maybe for a more crypto audience, but there's a lot of use cases where fundraising has been quite difficult so far, partially because of regulatory issues. And if you can kind of fundraise in this model, your actual early users can be your investors and vice versa. So there's a kind of a lot of utility for this that's kind of reaches outside of the standard crypto audience.
So just to break it down, if I hold Swarm coins and there's a new user currency that gets created on Swarm, then there is an opportunity for me as a Swarm coin holder to have the new user currency in my portfolio.
Yeah, so that's the other thing we're offering. So we're doing, we thought this was a really cool idea. So we said, we have to do it ourselves, and so we're doing our own fundraiser on top of our own platform. And the Swarm coins that you get as part of that fundraiser entitle you to a percentage of other coins that are launched via Swarm in the future. So that's exactly true. So you'll basically be getting coins from every future launch back into your counter wallet, and you kind of can see them popping up and up. Obviously, those will have a kind of market value. So if everything goes, then it sort of keeps on generating. And the other thing is that once you have Swarm coins, you also get access to kind of pre-sale or any other kind of things that we're doing for these kind of future launches.
So
kind of like extra perks, basically.
I'd like to comment on that real quick. So I actually bought some of these Swarm coins with the pre-sale that Joel announced on the forums, and the process was pretty expensive. They're making use of that insight. I essentially spent some Bitcoin. I might have sent some XCP as well. And I think I sent some XCP over. The Bitcoin or XCP I sent to an address, the counter wallet, and then within the next block time, 10 minutes or less, I had Swarm Free pop up in my counter wallet address. So it was a pretty slick process overall. It was really nice to see that happening like that.
Very cool. So when did you post the announcement on the forums, Joel?
Well, I guess we had this Counterparty dev group, the Skype group, and other things like that for people who are kind of contributing to the open source stuff. And I'm kind of a long-term, open source enthusiast. So I thought one of the things I like about these types of projects is it's kind of like get the people who are developing them and kind of align the incentives so that they succeed. So I don't remember exactly when that was. I think we announced it kind of briefly after we started accepting stuff in this kind of pre-sale or sort of indications of interest stage. I think it was the 27th of last month. So it's been a little more than a week at this point.
Okay. And how many Bitcoins have you raised so far?
I think we're nearing 100 right now. So we haven't really been doing a lot of advertising, but we have actually. So that's a little bit confusing. So we have 100 that are basically in or close to that, but then we have a lot that are sort of verbally committed or committed in other ways as well. So some of that we're pushing on our kind of path for the pre-sale. So we may just actually close it out in the next couple of days.
So how many people are attached to this project? Not the investor side, but developers or founders.
So we have basically two co-founders, myself and Jeff Cobbins, who is a designer from Belgium. He used to run his own creative agency. And we both sort of are kind of usability folks and just see a lot of the stuff in the crypto space and like, this is, provides a functionality, but it's not really that easy or, painless to use, and it's so painful really. The way, and then we hired COO about a week ago, who was a serial entrepreneur that I worked with before in the cloud computing space. And it's super excited to see this succeed. And we actually brought on a sort of communications officer as well yesterday. So we're kind of 4 full-time, and then we have a few other people who are assisting us in various other capacities.
Very cool, very cool. So what are some of the first applications you kind of see on the horizon with Swarm? Is there some idea fairies that you've been kicking around, or do you know people immediately interested in launching on top of Swarm vice another asset on Counterparty?
I know a ton of people who are interested. I get multiple contacts every day of people who have coins that they would like to offer through our platform. One cool thing that I just got just before this was people who are doing kind of mobile payments with counterparty assets, which I thought was awesome. So these are the kind of projects I would just love to see succeed, and then whatever Swarm can help them kind of, then that's great. But the actual general category that I'm most excited about is accelerators, like the same model that we have of giving coins back to the people who have, in future projects. So there's always like kind of future projects that are launched.
Right. Okay.
So in some ways, there's like already a classic accelerator model that exists where, say, we have like 5 startups in a batch, and we each give them 50K, and then there's some kind of fund that pumps in that money, and then that fund takes some equity in those startups. And what we're looking at is actually doing something very similar, but with a coin, where you have an accelerator coin. We actually would put funds into that accelerator coin, but it would be kind of operated by people who are respected angels and VCs, and we've been in conversations with teams in a number of different cities that will hopefully be announced soon. But the basic way is that then you have a coin for that accelerator, and then every project that is launched also has a coin. So there's no real equity, but then the accelerator again gets some kind of coins back, and kind of everyone is sort of incentivized to see that these projects succeed.
So it definitely sounds it definitely sounds like an accelerator of an accelerator of an accelerator, or at least that kind of potential. How does the capital structure become determined for the trade for equity and the number of coins? Is it just an offer by the entrepreneurs launching, or is there a back and forth with the Swarm holders, or is it executed at your level with those that have access to the Bitcoins? How does that decision making happen?
So you're saying if we launch a coin, like how do we decide the initial distribution? Is that mainly?
Sure, yeah, like the distribution that the entrepreneurs are offering the Swarm network, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my goal is to do a lot of sort of small experiments and kind of learn from them. So that's why the accelerator model is also appealing, and that you do a lot of, projects, and some of them will succeed, hopefully in a great way, and some of them will bomb. And, as maybe if you look at something like Counter or whatever, Y Combinator, like they have these, a gazillion startups you've never heard of, and then, a few that are kind of, go to the moon. That's and then basically we learn from doing. So, you kind of sharpen exactly how this should be structured over time, and then you kind of get some sort of established models. So at the moment, we're doing in this kind of 3-phase approach that does have a kind of whatever pre-mine, not particularly large, but some degree of founder shares, and we're also setting up this kind of multi-sig thing, which we're pretty excited about, to have the different people signing off on all of the fund releases from the main fund, so that there's an accountability structure, so that funds aren't misappropriated, and that we also have these kind of monthly reporting things. So I would say there's like basically a number of different things that it takes to provide context, both from the actual crowd sale to execution, that kind of have to be put in place, and I think we are doing that, but some of them are things that we're still in the early stages of. Like we have a good plan, I think, but we aren't kind of know exactly how everything should shape out.
Very cool, very cool.
But the great thing is we're teaming up with these established teams of people who are very experienced. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any other questions, Robby, for Joel?
Yeah, I'd like to add that this kind of stuff that Joel's doing is all right. But this stuff that Joel's doing is really great. I think that this is I've said this before, probably in other interviews, but this is the reason why Counterparty's around. So just building this open platform that entrepreneurs and developers and everyone, we had Tatiana coin release last week, I believe, and and she's an artist and non-technical, and so it encompasses not only technical people but non-technical people, and I think the kind of thing that Joel's doing is really going to help out in that degree where the more kind of really friendly user interface and support infrastructures we can have going beyond the technology and really having a company that will do due diligence, will reach out to entrepreneurs and pull them in and make it easy for them to gain funding and at the same time become participants in like this coin ecosystem, and at the same time build on top of this peer-to-peer decentralized counterparty technology is like totally awesome. So very, very glad to see these kind of things going on in the counterparty community.
Absolutely. Just want to thank everyone for listening. To find out more and get the latest updates, please head over to counterparty.co. The web wallet can be found at counterwallet.co. Go ahead and take a look at the subreddit counterparty_XCP, the Twitter page counterpartyXCP, Facebook counterpartyXCP, the BitcoinTalk.org has a counterparty page, and go ahead and head over to YouTube for some instructional videos, and hopefully you'll see this posted soon.
Thank you, and save the date, June 17th. That's when the real sale starts.
Thanks, Joel.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. I know it's late there.
It is
Countertalk number 1, man. You were a part of history.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you guys later. Thanks, Sean, for doing this. I'm excited to produce.
Yeah.